December 14th, 1944, northern Minnesota. Snow falls not gently but relentlessly, thick. Heavy flakes that swallow sound and soften the world into silence. Pines stand like dark sentinels along the edge of a frozen clearing, their branches sagging under the weight of winter. The air smells of resin, cold iron, and wood smoke. A military transport truck groans as it crawls to a stop beside a logging camp carved into the wilderness. Its engine rattles, then dies, leaving behind a sudden, unsettling quiet. American guards step forward instinctively. Boots crunch in the snow. Rifles are lifted. Gloved fingers tighten. They expect hardened enemy soldiers. Men who have killed. Men who hate. The canvas flap at the back of the truck is yanked open, and time seems to hesitate. Small boots tumble down first, worn leather, cracked at the toes. Then thin legs, wrapped in oversized wool trousers, cinched with rope. One by one, children climb down into the snow. 12 of them, the oldest barely 14. Greatcoats hang from their shoulders like borrowed funerals, dragging behind them sleeves too long, collars swallowing their necks. Helmets sit crooked on heads that haven't finished growing. Their faces are hollowed by hunger, cheeks drawn tight over bone, lips cracked and bleeding from cold. They shiver violently, not just from the temperature. One boy stumbles as his boot sinks into the snow. Another grabs his arm to steady him. Their eyes dart everywhere, at the rifles, the trees, the guards' faces, searching for the moment when it will happen, when the beating will start, when the bullets will come. A guard from Iowa, barely 20 himself, whispers under his breath, "Jesus Christ." The boys huddle together instinctively, a tight knot of fear. One of them, 13 years old, blonde hair plastered to his forehead with sweat and melting snow, leans toward the boy beside him and whispers in German, "Das ist amerikanisches Sibirien." This is American Siberia. His voice cracks. "Wir werden hier erfrieren." We will freeze to death here. None of them know where Minnesota is. They only know what they were told, that this place is the end. To understand how children end up as prisoners of war in a frozen logging camp halfway across the world, you have to return to Germany, not the Germany of rallies and banners, but the Germany of collapse. Late 1944, the Reich is dying. Not slowly, not with dignity. It is tearing itself apart. Cities lie open like broken ribs. Hamburg smolders. Cologne is a skeleton of stone. Berlin shudders under nightly bombardment that rattles the bones of the earth. Fathers are gone, dead, missing, swallowed by the Eastern Front. Mothers queue for hours for bread that never comes. And still, the orders continue. In September, Hitler signs a decree that sounds heroic on paper and desperate in reality. Volkssturm! The people storm. Every male between 16 and 60 is called. But by November, the numbers don't add up. So the numbers change. Boys are taken from classrooms, from cellars, from bomb shelters where they clutch school books and half-burned. Toys, 12, 13, 14. They are handed rifles heavier than their arms, uniforms still warm from dead men. They receive days of training, sometimes hours. The Hitler Youth, once a place of songs, camping trips, and badges, becomes a conveyor belt to the front. One of the boys, Friedrich, writes in a small, grease-stained notebook, "They told us we were lucky, that we would be heroes, that Germany needed us now more than ever. I believed them because I wanted to." Another boy, Joseph, doesn't write at all. He just listens. The propaganda is relentless. Americans are gangsters. They torture prisoners. They starve children. They send Germans to frozen camps in Alaska and Minnesota, where men work until their fingers fall off. Minnesota becomes a word whispered like a curse. The boys are thrown together into a makeshift unit near the Belgian border, frightened, exhausted, pretending to be brave. Officers disappear at night. Ammunition runs out. Food becomes thin soup and thinner hope. When American forces overrun their position on December 3rd, there is no heroic last stand. There is only relief. Hands go up. Rifles fall into the mud. Some of the boys cry. Others stare blankly, waiting to be shot. Instead, they are searched, counted, and loaded onto trucks. The journey across the Atlantic lasts 9 days. Below deck, the air is thick with diesel, vomit, and fear. The ship groans like a wounded animal. The boys lie packed together on wooden planks, sharing warmth like kittens. Joseph refuses to eat for 3 days. "It's poisoned," he whispers. Friedrich keeps touching the scrap of paper in his pocket, his mother's address, afraid that if he doesn't, it will disappear. By the time they reach New York, they are silent, hollow, already half ghosts. Trains carry them west. The world outside the windows changes. Cities to fields. Fields to forests. Forests to endless white. Someone whispers, Minnesota. No one answers. The logging camp at Romare was never meant for prisoners. It was built for men with axes and saws, for sweat and routine, for purpose. Smoke curls from chimneys. Cabins squat low against the cold. Lumberjacks pause mid-task, leaning on tools, staring as the truck arrives. Children. That's all they see. The guards don't know what to do. Orders don't cover this. They lead the boys toward the barracks. The door opens, and heat pours out. Real heat. The kind that wraps around the body and sinks into the bones. A potbelly stove roars in the corner. Wool blankets are folded neatly on bunks. The air smells of pine, coffee, and bread. A radio crackles softly. Swing music. The boys stop. One of them actually flinches as if struck. This isn't right. Prisons are cold. Prisons hurt. At dinner, they are led into the mess hall. The tables are already full. Pancakes stacked high. Bacon piled thick. Eggs steaming. Potatoes glistening with grease. Bread, butter, jam. Milk, real milk. Cold, white, impossibly rich. They stand frozen, waiting for the joke. A young guard named Tommy Johnson notices. He takes a fork, eats a pancake, and grins. It's real. The boys begin to eat, slowly, then desperately. They cry as they chew. Tears splash onto plates. Hands shake. Some eat until they vomit, then eat again. Friedrich whispers, Wir sind tot. We are dead. Joseph nods, mouth full. Das ist der Himmel. This is heaven. Daily revelations, 15-25 minutes. Days pass. Meals never stop. The boys gain weight. Color returns to their faces. Their eyes stop scanning for danger every second. Lumberjacks teach them words. Good morning. Thank you. Pass the salt. One man, Hank Peterson, teaches checkers. He has a son in France. He never says his name. Work is light, safe, intentional. At night, nightmares come. Dr. Harold Whitman sits with them quietly. No shouting, no threats, just presence. Letters are written. Friedrich writes, Mama, I am warm. I eat every day. The Americans are not what they told us. Christmas comes. A tree appears. Gifts. A wooden horse. The youngest boy collapses into sobs. Something inside them breaks, and something else begins to heal. Kindness becomes its own battlefield. If this is true, what else was a lie? News arrives. Germany is falling. The boys listen. Silently. They are safe. Their families may not be. The guilt settles heavy. Who are they now? August 1945. The train waits. Goodbyes are quiet. Hands are shaken. Candy is pressed into pockets. The forest watches. Years later, they will remember Minnesota not as cold, but as warm. Not as prison, but as proof that even in war, humanity can survive.